Hello everybody and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, Gretchen Heidel. And I am here going over This Week in Astrology here on YouTube. I'm going to be posting my videos every week on October 18th all the way until October 25th. 2021. Can't believe we're already almost at the end of October, and I'm here going to be going over what is going on in astrology. We have a busy week this week. We have a very Mars week this week, Aries week this week. So listen up if you're an Aries, if you're a Scorpio, Libra. We're going to be talking I'm going to be talking a lot about you guys tonight. But first, I have some good news. On Monday, on October 18th, we have two planets turning direct in Eastern time. On the 18th, we have Jupiter turning direct in the astrological sign of Aquarius. Yay! And then we have Mercury turning direct in the astrological sign of Libra. So this is the end of Mercury retrograde and the end of Jupiter retrograde. So Jupiter retrograde technically is ending at 1:30 a.m. Eastern time, and then on Saturday night if you're out on the West Coast, and then Mercury Direct is going to be turning at 11:17 a.m. Eastern time today. So I'm very excited about this. Yay! Both of those planets are going to be turning direct. Now, just a review, remember when these planets turn direct, it's not like stop, start, they're not like a light switch. They take time. So I always say it's kind of like a car. They've been going in reverse. Now they have to stop. It's called stationary direct. And then they start moving forward in forward motion. So when a planet goes retrograde, it stops, and then it goes backwards, and then it stops, and then it goes forward. Now, do these planets actually stop and start? No. A retrograde is where we humans back in the ancient times used to observe, and it looked like the planets were going backwards, but it was because of the different orbits and the rates and speeds and stuff that they go in, and it's actually an optical illusion. But in astrology, we call that a retrograde, and there is a meaning behind it, as there is a meaning behind everything when it comes to the planets, because we are all a part of the same universe, and that's basically what the deal is. So with these retrogrades, yay, okay, Mercury is going to be now. So when it takes, when I say it takes a little while for it to get up and running again, I mean, it's not even going to get to the next degree until Friday. So it's turning direct on Monday, but it doesn't even move 1 degree, boop, until Friday. And then Jupiter retrograde, because Jupiter is such a, further out planet, Jupiter will not get to the next degree until almost mid-November. So just to give you guys an idea, when I say stationary, I really mean it. I mean, Jupiter has been, I think it's at 22 degrees. I don't have my book here, but I think it's roughly that. So it's going to be taking a little while. Somebody might end up commenting, and that's fine that it's not 22 degrees, but whatever, it's at the end of Aquarius. And so it's going to take a little while. It's been at that degree since like mid-September roughly, and then all the way until November. So it hasn't been moving all this time. So that's why we feel these planets. We have, remember, as a review from last week, we have 4 planets this month that are going to be turning direct. And even though that's a good thing and the retrogrades are over, it still is wonky because, it's like we're changing direction, things are kind of going, and it feels a little discombobulated. And so that's kind of happening today on Monday. But remember, I said that this week is going to be very busy involving Mars, involving Aries, and then in the ancients, we used to feel that Scorpio was also shared Mars as well. So basically on Monday, Mars is going to form a trine with Jupiter on Monday. And then on Friday, Mars is going to form a square with Pluto. Ouch. So, and then in between those, full moon in Aries. So we have a lot of astrological energy involving Aries energy. So Mars is the ruler of Aries. If you guys remember, Mars is the god of war. So there's going to be some stuff going on. So Mars is going to form a trine with Jupiter. Mars, that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Mars is in Libra right now, and it's going to be forming a trine with Jupiter, except like I said, it's a good thing, except Jupiter basically makes everything bigger. So we got to watch that, because we don't want Mars energy to get too big and too aggressive and too out of control. However, Mars energy, I always say this, Mars is just really energy in itself. So your Mars sign in your astrological chart, so if you know your own personal astrological chart, and by the way, type below if you do. I love hearing people's Mars signs and different other astrology signs. So your Mars sign tells you how you act, what's your motivation, what drives you, what gives you ambition. You know, it's like kind of like your get up and go and your chutzpah, if you will. So Mars basically is not a bad thing, and it gives us energy, and it's how we use our energy and how we kind of you know, show ourselves to the world in that way, our energetic self. So Mars forming a trine with Aquarius, Libra and Aquarius are trying each other. It's Jupiter and Aquarius is going to be making the energy big. Again, that's not a bad thing, because literally that gives us more energy. However, with Mars, there's always that little tipping. I always say there's a tipping point that happens with Mars, because Mars can be aggression. So it can tip into like where it's energy and it's pointed and it's I got to do this and I got to do this right now. I got to do this right now. And all of a sudden it sort of tips into being overly aggressive, overly pointed. Now, I say that, but Mars is in Libra right now, which is more prone towards, you know, kind of getting along and more peaceful. However, if anybody has ever argued with a Libra, if any of you have, they can switch and switch and switch and switch. They can switch sides very easily. That's why Libra is the scales, right? And so Mars being in Libra right now is a little, could be like prone to debating. I've seen Libras debate themselves in the same conversation. It's kind of an interesting thing. So basically Mars and Libra can be a little bit confusing, because wait, are you fighting for this or this or this or this? And so we got to watch that tendency, because people love to debate when Mars is in Libra. They like to argue both sides of things and kind of flip-flop in the same argument. So we want to watch that. So the height of it, or the peak of this Mars trine Libra, is going to be 10:36 p.m. Eastern time. So earlier than that, if you're on the West Coast, 7:36 p.m. It's going to be, it trined Jupiter. Mars formed a trine with Jupiter twice this year. The last time was actually in April, on April 17th, 2021. So if any of you remember roughly around that time, what you were doing that week even, that'll give you a better idea of how you will feel and experience this energy. Again, this can be, it can be a good thing, but it can be too much of a good thing. So good news is, if you're shy and you need a little bit more energy and zip and, you know, pep in your step, this is good for you. If you need to be a little bit more assertive, this can be good for you. If you're looking to do a new workout, you remember physical, Mars can be physical. Speaking of physical, my dog is squeaking her toy in the background. I thought I hit all of them before I started the video, but clearly I did not. I literally have dog toys, like I'm grabbing them away from her as I'm trying to set up my camera. So anyway, so if you're looking to start a new workout, Mars, remember, is a physical sign, and so it's something that we can get some get up and go, got up and went. Now, remember last week I kind of explained live or on the video that I fell about a month ago now, and I injured myself greatly, and I wanted to continue the dialogue talking about healing, because, you know, I'm in that world right now, but I have a lot of clients that are struggling with health things, or their spouse is struggling with a health thing, or literally they're talking about just healing, you know, chronic conditions, or even just like, you know, immediate conditions that just came on, acute conditions or spontaneous ones, or even like falls or accidents like I had. And so when we're talking about healing our body and physical, so this is going to be a good week for physical stuff. In fact, that's the day I start my physical therapy. I must be an astrologer. But that is the day I start my very first physical therapy session, and I think it's going to be a good week for physicality. So Mars, just to review, Mars can be physicality, okay? In fact, I know a lot of people with Mars in Aries, Mars in Sagittarius, in other words, Mars in the fire signs, that are actually physical therapists themselves. So that's kind of an interesting factoid, because again, it's that exercise and it's like working out and it's all that good stuff. So if you are an athletic person, or you want to be an athletic person, or you want to improve your athleticism, Mars is your definite friend and your planet. Mars itself influences blood pressure, inflammation. It can be, kind of inflammatory conditions, such as like strained, things that we want to watch, that we don't overdo it, especially if you're a weekend warrior and you don't usually work out, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to do 140 sit-ups. Ouch, so you can hurt yourself a little bit, so you want to be careful. But Mars is good in general for physicality. And like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about healing and, healing your body. In our metaphysical community, we talk a lot about what is a cause, okay, of an illness or a cause of an injury. Let's say, a person has stomach problems, the cause, meaning what is the physical emotion, the emotion that you're experiencing, is usually worry. Worry is associated with the stomach, okay? And so it is believed in the metaphysical community that if we address the worry, then we can address the physical. Illnesses and injuries and all that kind of start out in the auric field. It's something that usually we're doing kind of the same thing over and over and getting the same results, something in the auric field needs to be sort of looked at, worked on. The energy of things needs to be kind of evaluated. So there's that. So then it's believed that once it's in the auric field long enough, eventually it'll come into the physical field, and that's where we manifest illness or sickness or disease or whatever. There's a little bit of controversy around this topic, because a lot of times we talk about illness and things in, sometimes people talk about it in a blaming kind of way, like, you're experiencing worry and you got that stomach problem, see, maybe you should work on your worry, and then you want to kind of just be like, how about you mind your own business, so it's not like that. I feel like we have to have these discussions in a more objective kind of way, in a more softer, compassionate, gentle way, in the metaphysical community, because sometimes that does happen where people kind of blame and they point fingers and all that, and it's not helpful to somebody that's ill or sick or whatever, suffering in some way. But if you do get sick, or if you do manifest some kind of an illness or an injury or something like that, it's good to look at what has been going on in your life. I always say this, and I'm getting to something here because I feel like there's a big thing that's being left out of the conversation around illness. But I always say it's kind of like a plant. If the plant, all of a sudden, like a house plant, is not doing well, it's turning yellow, leaves are falling off, I don't know, it's not doing well, what would you do? You would change the pot, maybe. You would change the soil. You would change the window that it was sitting in. Maybe you would change the amount of times you water it or the fertilizer. You would change the environment for which the plant is getting sick in, right? Well, it's the same thing with us. It's the same thing with our physical bodies. So when we think about changing something in our human world, yes, you might want to change your diet. You might want to change a habit, meaning give up smoking cigarettes or give up drinking too much. You might want to start exercising, all those things. But we can't forget about the mind as well. And, people, I hear this a lot. People will say, well, I don't really believe that, our emotions cause illness. And I'm like, oh, but stress causes illness. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, that's true. But the other stuff is not true, just that. So I always laugh a little bit. But, stress is, a component that we can experience as far as a human emotion that causes, many studies have shown that stress causes illness. So The thing that I feel that's left out of this whole conversation, because we spend a lot of time in the metaphysical community, what's the root cause? What is the problem? What was the emotion that created this illness or whatever? We don't talk enough about healing it, I feel. I mean, yeah, you got to get to the bottom of that. It's good to know if you have worry, let's say, and, you're manifesting a stomach problem, or fear, and that's kidney problems. By the way, Libra in astrology is associated with the kidneys and adrenals. So I think adrenal burnout, right? I mean, that can be a Libra thing. You basically want to look at that. But also, it's an opportunity for your physical body to heal up itself. And when you do, it works in reverse too. You can heal up that emotional component as well as the physical component, and all of it can heal up together. Yay. So, but you have to change, like using the house plant as the example. You have to change the soil, you have to change the water, you have to change something in your life. What often happens, and what we see a lot in the medical community, is that when a person gets sick or whatever, they cure the thing, and then it'll come right back because they keep doing the same behaviors, but also getting into the same emotional states, the same relationships, the same work environment that's stressing a person out, or the same marriage or a relationship that is stressing a person out, or making a person angry, or making a person frustrated, or causing fear or worry. All of those things that we will kind of go back to, and then the problem that, the problem that we resist persists. So basically that's the thing. So I'm a big fan of changing up things that are not working, and it's a great time. And as you heal up your physical body, you also heal up the emotional body too. Mind, body, spirit is holistic medicine, and that's basically what the deal is. So I wanted to kind of talk about that because it's a very physical week this week. Mars is a very physical planet, one of the most physical planets in our chart, and it's kind of shows how we do our physicality. My Mars lives full time in Capricorn, and Capricorn is knees, teeth, skin, and skeletal system, and I just broke my knee. So that's how my Mars is showing itself in its physical way. Pluto is still in Mars, or Pluto is still in Capricorn, so that's kind of working people out. If you have any planets in Capricorn there, that Pluto is hitting, you might be experiencing problems with skin, knees, teeth, or skeletal system. But yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to kind of add that to the conversation. I'm going to keep talking about healing and health and all this fun stuff. But so moving further into the week, on Wednesday is our full moon in Aries at 10:57 a.m. Eastern time. So earlier than that, if you're out on the West Coast, what is that, 7:57 a.m., 3 hours earlier. It's going to be 27 degrees Aries. Now, remember, what is the full moon? It's when the sun and the moon are opposite of each other. So Libra is at 27 degrees Libra. Aries moon is at 27 degrees Aries. And so that's basically what they're doing, is they're opposing each other. It always happens to be that during whatever season it is, like Libra season, the full moon is in the opposite sign. That's why it's oppositional. So that's why it can be a little bit, it's powerful, I mean, it's a powerful energy, but they're opposing each other, which means they're not totally getting along. And there can be sometimes, that's why there's tension sometimes on full moons, basically. So that's why, police, get a little bit more busy on those days, and emergency rooms fill up, and, birthing units, and we have more babies, during those times. So it's a peak of a cycle, an ending of a cycle, a completion of a cycle, wrapping up, okay, basically wrapping up everything that we're doing here, in Aries, 27 degrees Aries. And so that's going to be on the 20th. That is on Wednesday. And again, 10:57 a.m. Eastern time. It is the time to burn or destroy your new moon manifestation list. And also to remember, Aries / Mars, okay, Aries is basically the sign that is associated with Archangel Ariel. Ariel is considered to be the lioness of God. That's her nickname. A lot of people, again, the archangels don't really have a sex per se. They can be male or female, but a lot of people refer to Ariel as a female. And she is considered to be the healer of nature. So we're talking a lot about healing and physicality. In fact, if you have a pet or that is sick, or an animal in your life that is sick, or that you know somebody that does, Ariel is the archangel to call upon to help heal that, to heal the land, to heal the animals, nature. And a lot of times we will get signs, physical signs from Ariel in the form of, like a bird or a butterfly, or, some kind of a thing. If you're saying a prayer to her, you will get physical signs. And she's associated with the color light pink. So rose quartz is a wonderful stone to think of when you think of Ariel. She also can help you dig deep and connect with your life purpose. And that's another wonderful thing that Ariel will help us to do. And again, she is associated with Aries. Aries, can be, ruled by Mars, can be quite aggressive. We can be, and I say we because I'm an Aries, we can be quite aggressive. We're scrappy people, a lot of Aries that I know, and even actors and actresses, are very scrappy people. Lady Gaga is probably one of my favorites. Very scrappy, overcoming, obstacles and things in her personal life. She's been very public about different things that she's, dealt with in her life. And she has not been, how do I say this? She's had a lot of situations where she, her dogs were kidnapped and her pet sitter was shot. I don't know if you guys know about that, but that was like a crazy thing with Lady Gaga, and she's overcome a lot of things. Reese Witherspoon, which a lot of people don't think of as gritty, but she is gritty. She owns the first ever women's production company in Hollywood, which that's a big accomplishment. Gloria Steinem, you talk about women's accomplishments, Gloria Steinem is a big famous Aries. Betty Davis, Joan Crawford, Mommy Dearest, literally Mommy Dearest. She's an Aries, not a great representation of an Aries, but she is an Aries. So there's a lot of women, males that are Aries as well, that are very scrappy. It's about being a survivor, and if you think about nature, Archangel Ariel, being the nature goddess, nature can be pretty harsh, that's kind of the thing with nature. So Aries, we have something wrapping up in our Aries sector. So it depends on where Aries is in your personal astrological chart, in order to know where exactly this is going to be falling for you. But just know that Aries kind of can get into the fight. Libra doesn't want to fight. Libra is like, let's make peace. And Aries is like, oh, hell no, let's fight it out. So Aries can be real Dukes of Hazzard there. Eddie Murphy is a famous Aries. I'm trying to think of Aries men. What's his name? I can't remember now. There's a man I always talk about, and I can't remember, the Gladiator guy. He's an Aries, the actor that played Gladiator. He's an Aries, perfect mind. I'm just totally drawing a blank. You guys can comment below if you know who I'm talking about. But he's an Aries. There's a lot of Aries, scrappy Aries energy people. And so this can be a little bit of a contentious, time, because Aries, sometimes when we fight for survival, and, survival of the fittest, that's nature, right? That's Aries. And Aries is also considered to be beginning something new, where full moons are ending. So this is like a little bit wonky even in that aspect. It always happens this time of year. But here we might be thinking, I got to start something new. And it's like, you got to wrap something up before you can start something new. So don't be working on that just yet. And then on Friday, we have more Mars energy. Mars in Libra now is going to be squaring Pluto and Capricorn. Libra and Capricorn are both cardinal signs, leadership signs. So Aries is a leader, Libra is a leader, Capricorn's a leader. There's a lot of chefs in the kitchen, okay? We'll just say that. So when everybody thinks they're in charge and everybody thinks they're hashtag boss lady or boss guy, you know, that can get a little bit, you know, who's in charge, push-pull. There's a lot of push-pull energy. And I will say Mars square Pluto, this is the only time, thank you, the only time this year in 2021 that it is going to be squaring it, okay, those two are coming as a square. Last year in 2020, in the fall, they formed 3 squares. Now, if you remember what the fall was like last year in 2020, which was the going into the presidential election and the debates and all the different, like, oh my God, all the stuff, right? 2020 was special like that. Had 3 Mars square Plutos, okay, in that year, which is not very common at all. Usually it's just a once a year thing. And this year it's just going to be 1. So we're going to be 1 and done on Friday. But here's the thing. 12:20 a.m. Eastern time on Friday on October 22nd. So it's going to be earlier than that if you're on the West Coast. So it's going to be, we're going to be feeling this. So usually on full moons, you know, it kind of goes up the mountain, we get to the peak, and then we go down the mountain, okay? Going down the mountain, usually it gets better and easier after the full moon. It releases, okay, we're not going to have as much tension. We're not going to have, oh, it'll be better, except not this time. This time on Friday, we're going to have that Thursday night into Friday. It'll be still cresting and building. So that Mars square Pluto, Mars is the god of war. Pluto is the lord of the underworld and the darkness and the secrets and subversive tactics and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So when these two kind of square off or fight or not get along, Libra and Capricorn, when they're not getting along, ooh, that can be sticky. So watch it on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, okay? Because those are going to be really big days. And then hopefully after it peaks, then we'll start to kind of, you know, come down the mountain. Now, we are going to head into Scorpio season on Saturday. It's the official start of Scorpio season. That's going to be on October 23rd at 12:51 a.m. Eastern time. The sun moves into Scorpio season. And Scorpio season is when the ghouls and the goblins and the ghosties and the witches and all the different things start to happen. We have All Saints Day. We have Halloween. We have the Day of the Dead. We have all different kinds of things that happen during Scorpio season, Veterans Day, where we are looking behind the veil, and the veil gets very thin during Scorpio season. I am going to go into a deep dive around Scorpio season in another video this week, and I don't want to make this video too long of this week in astrology, but basically that's what the deal is. So just to recap, on Monday we have Mercury and Jupiter are going direct, yay. Then on Wednesday we have that big full moon in the astrological sign of Aries, and that's going to be taking place 10:57 a.m. Eastern time, 27 degrees Aries. And then on Friday, we have Mars forming a square with Pluto. And so that is going to be, there's going to be some tension there. There's going to be some things, okay? And basically that's what we have to kind of pay attention to. So I'm going to pull one quick card, a collective card for everybody. What do we all need to know this week in astrology in order to deal with this very big contentious sort of energy here? Hey, hey, hey. My dog. Okay, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? Who is an Aries, by the way? Let me say, come here, Lily, come here. So we haven't seen Lily in a while, but this is my Lily. She's an Aries, okay? Aries doggy here, and her moon is in Sagittarius. So say hi to everybody, Lily. Yes, yes. So I wanted to show you guys, but I'm gonna pull a very quick card, showing off my little Aries dog. There's a lot of Aries up in this house. We'll just say that because they think my pug is an Aries also. Okay, so what do you guys need to know this week? I'm gonna pull one card. What do you need to know? Oh, well, this is perfect. This is actually, all this Mars energy, this physical energy, this dynamic energy. Take back your power. Take back your power. Wow, I can't think of a better card for Aries Mars energy. Take back your power. Take no prisoners, right? Okay. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings into your life. You want to take back your power. Anywhere that you've gone out of power, Aries is fighting energy. I'm just going to say it. Aries can fight. And so if you're out of power in some way, shape, or form, someone's running over you at work, your partner, you know, is taking advantage of you or using you, or your friend's using you, or whatever, something's happening and you need to step up and say your peace of mind and get a little, you know, maybe a little edgy. Aries, this is the energy. That's the energy. Mars is the energy. So if you want to get, if you need to get angry about something and really do some action, Mars is action and Aries is fighting. So this is your week, and this can be very empowering. Like I said, it doesn't have to be all out aggressive, though we may see a rise in violence this week. That will happen sometimes when these planets are activated. If a person's already teetering with a mental illness or a rageaholic or somebody that's you know, having mental issues, that can happen for sure. But with Aries, you know, on the good side, it's just about taking ownership of yourself, ownership of your life, and taking your power back. Okay? So you guys go take your power back this week. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell for notifications, and please comment and like the video, because that really helps the algorithm and helps my video to get noticed on YouTube. And go ahead and comment your astrological sign. I love hearing what sign everybody is. Well, you guys have a great day, and I'm going to be recording that video sometime this week, releasing it about Scorpio season, so you don't want to miss. All right, have a great week, you guys.